Okay, so World Zero's updated and added 2 new legendary classes, which is Summoner and Warlord, and we're going to do a little showcase here on the Summoner class. Of course, there'll be a Warlord one as well, just a little bit after, or just you can search for it and you'll find it there. I'm going to go over all the skills and how to get it. So first things first, how to get this class, very simple. You have to go ahead and head to this page over here and be level 100. And once you click Prestige, it will actually, if you're not in World 1, it will teleport you to World 1. And once you're in World 1, it will reset your level and all your main quests, and you'll get the class. And then you'll be level 1. You're going to go ahead and re-level to level 100, and then you can do it again and get the other class. Of course, you don't have to use the class to level up. You can go ahead and use any other class you have unlocked. You don't lose the classes. You can still equip Spirit Archer, equip Dragoon, equip Demon, and you can still play them if you want, but you can play the new classes as well. You don't lose anything else, just your level and your main quest progress. Once you do Prestige, you get 0.5 per permanent minimum drop rate up, so you have a higher chance to get legendaries, and that stacks for each Prestige. So if you get both classes, you beat Prestige 2, then you get 2%, you get 1% extra, and there will be more classes in the future. And then eventually, if you're watching this after or before, Prestige Dungeons will come out on March 18th. So let's go ahead and start off with Summoner here. So here is Summoner. Here's what they look like, how they walk, how they stand. Here's the holster, nothing special, all that good stuff. So we're going to go ahead and go over the skills here. So Summoner is basically a DPS class with some decent AoE damage, AoE and aggro. Not really aggro, but we'll talk about more of the pros and cons about it later. But basically, this is the auto attacks. We can't really see it. The range on the auto attacks are very similar to Spirit Archer, very, very large range attacks, but you cannot walk and attack at the same time, so that's pretty much special for Spirit Archer. So here, I'm going to show you guys in this dungeon here, Dire Wolves, show you guys how the auto attacks are. So here's the range. It goes really far. It's going to get closer ever so slightly. There you go. There's the range. There's the attack speed. Don't look at the damage. Damage is depending on the level. That's pretty much. And so every time you kill or do damage with your auto attacks, you will get these souls, which you'll see those white orbs fly towards you. So here we go again. Do this again. 1, 2, 3. And as soon as we kill a werewolf here, we'll get these white orbs. Now, when you look at your bottom of your E ability right here, similar to Spirit Archer, you can see that our summon, will stack up, and you will keep stacking up to ×5. And when you press E, it will go ahead and summon a little guy for you based on your level, I'm pretty sure. So click summon, long cast time, level 35, and you see that it will start to do damage. The enemies will target them, but only if you didn't attack them first, as that's how aggro works. The more damage to an enemy you do, the aggro that will be on them, and it will give you a refresh. They don't last that long, maybe about 10 seconds they might last, not too much, but not too long either. So up to you of how long you're going to use them, but there's a reason why they're pretty short. So now when we go into our next ability, which is our R ability, which is Rift Explosion. And when we summon a guy here, let's give him in here, you can see that he'll do damage, right? And like, okay, he's starting to die a little bit. How about we use our R ability, and they'll now flash white and then blow up and do an AoE explosion. This is very good if you can have multiples. Now we have 3. We can summon 3 soul beings now. This is this is where it becomes where DPS becomes. You can pretty much tell the play style here. Looking to keep stacking all your buffs and then summoning basically. So here's an example of this. Now we can summon 3. So let's go ahead and do that. Now you can only summon 5 in total. You can't go past in 5. So here we summon 3. Let them do some damage here, and you can blow them up. And each one will do 1 tick of damage per enemy, right? So it will hit all 3. Will hit all 3 enemies and does decent damage. Now let's go over with our F ability here. Our F ability is Soul Harvest. Now this will summon a rift and will collect orbs for us, but you have to make sure to pick up the orb at the end. So an orb will spawn at the end here. So let's do one enemy here. So I'm going to spawn this in, and the laser will spawn, and that will also do damage as well. So see the purple orb, and it'll give us a little bit more extra. So here's an example of this laser. So if you actually shoot at max range, the laser that spawns here, that actually does damage as well. So if you're able to line it up with all the enemies, then you can go ahead and do extra damage with that laser beam. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a group of enemies here. You can see how much orbs you get here. So right now we have about a decent amount, and we're gonna go ahead and press F, get a bunch of orbs. Of course, it does AoE damage over time, and we got 4 stacks right there. Now we can pretty much show you guys what it looks like if we actually just use our regular summons, let them do damage, right? And then we blow them up, do extra damage, and then we just got 2 more summons. Summon them again, use your F ability, do extra damage, AoE. And see how the clear works, and then you press R again, and there you go. And now we have 3. We can summon 3. This is pretty much the gameplay loop, the gameplay of Summoner. You're pretty much always trying to kill groups of enemies. Now the problem is that Summoner lacks in solo kills. It's difficult to get stacks, and the boss is always gonna be up in front of you. Now we're gonna show our ultimate at the boss here. We can see a little more summoning here, and then just blow them up. Oh, I bugged it, but yep, bugged it. So you don't want to summon and then press your blow up right away, your R ability. It bugs out. It might be fixed later, but don't spam for the most part. Let's talk about our ultimate. So ultimate is our super summon, which has a cooldown on it. But the reason why the cooldown exists is if you summon by accident and you dodge right after you summon it, you might cancel it, but it just goes on cooldown, doesn't waste it. So that's good. Other than that, it does a lot of damage, and it's plus 10 your level. So here it looks like. There it is. It is very, very slow though, so you gotta be careful of where you summon it. You can't summon it too far or it won't get hit. It has 2 attacks, a slam move and a regular base attack. The regular attacks, do like half the damage, and then like double damage on the slam attack. I'm not sure if it's AoE, but you can see it's just soloing the boss by itself. Super, super useful. You can attack still, do whatever you want. But if you summon 5 and you summon the boss, it removes one of the summons here, lesser summons. So here we can have the boss here. But here's the issue. Biggest issue, look at this. What are you gonna do? The summons are very slow. They're not gonna follow the boss. That's the main issue. If you're playing with your party and everything, that's the biggest issue right now of Summoner, is that the summons are very, very cool. But if the boss is very fast, you're not gonna keep up. The whole point is that as a summoner, right, you're going to be hitting from afar. You have a very huge attack range, right? You can't just summon your summons from where you're standing. If you're in a tower boss, the boss is going to be far away and you're attacking from very far. You have to get up close, but you don't really want to get up close because you're pretty squishy, and all your spells have casting time, which then you can't really move and attack. You can't really kite that much. So it has very strong clearing of ads and mobs in groups, but when it comes to like bosses and stuff, it might be a little bit difficult as you're very slow and you have to be up close, which you want to be far. So up to you. Summoner is not bad if you want to do DPS, but I'm not entirely sure. It might get buffed, I don't know. It doesn't seem too great, but it might be better in the future. It might get buffed up, but up to you of how you want to see it. I think it's not that bad. Could be a little bit tweaked a little bit here and there. Maybe not playing it the best right now, but I can see its potential. I don't want to ramble too much, but the best thing I can tell you is how the aggro system works in the game. The way enemies aggro onto you is based off the amount of damage you have done to that enemy. Let's say you're attacking, right? Just get your stacks up for your souls to summon, and it's a pretty tanky enemy, right? Let's say it's an elite golem, and you start attacking to get some more summons, right? What's going to happen is that the more damage you do to it, it's going to raise your aggro level to it, right? And so if you were to summon at half health and you summon 4 summons, the enemy is not going to target those summons because you've done so much damage already. Your aggro is just way too high. So the summons are if you're running away from the guy because maybe they're fast or slow, your summons are not going to keep up to attack your golem or whatever. So you have to be close to the golem, so run circles, right? So up to you. The playstyle is there, but I think the summons are a bit too slow to catch up. I think that's probably the reason. That's probably on purpose. It would be way too strong, but hard to say. But it it has potential. But like I've said, up to you. But you know, there's a showcase. If you want to get it, you want to get it. But like I've said, if you play the game a lot, you're probably gonna grind and get both eventually. So up to you. But that is that. Hopefully you enjoyed. And that is all it is.